So, we're going to now talk about socially awkward women. Now, socially awkward women is something that's not really talked about. We hear the word incel all the time, and women will refer to any man that goes against modern feminist ideals an incel. The actual meaning is a young man who considers himself unable to attract women sexually. Women control the nature of the media, so all you hear is men bad and incels. What's not talked about is socially awkward women. Kevin Samuels referred to them as femcels. You can call them fawkwards or Cheyennes. The conversation of social awkwardness has to include females because, according to statistics, 1 in 4 Americans say they're socially awkward. I think that number is underreported, especially in Gen Z, and also because women are generally not honest in many surveys. Young people are the group that identify as most socially awkward, while 60% of Americans feel anxious in social situations. The average American spends 34 minutes a day socializing. Femcels are women that never developed social skills to attract men and also cannot navigate friendships and social situations with women. As mothers continue to fail their daughters by not teaching them how to be women, more and more femcels are created. As more and more women are going to college to get degrees that no one cares about, and more, it's recently only that we are seeing socially awkward women on social media and can listen to them talk about what their lives are like. That's what we're going to talk about today, socially awkward women. So, what circumstances are women socially awkward? Many times, women who did not want to use their looks to get ahead or couldn't, usually couldn't. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Usually couldn't, because no woman like Megan Fox isn't going to use that. You know what I mean? And that's why, like, a lot of times beautiful women, they might be bitchier, but they're really not as socially awkward because, like, everyone who isn't trying to talk to them, like, they're the center of attention in every room they walk in. Usually they're 5s and 6s who, if they became socially aware, stop dressing like a grandma, could be an adjustable 6, but they get pumped and dumped enough that they are not, because they're not attractive enough to sleep with 8s and without, especially not without girl game. A lot of socially awkward women are too afraid to look stupid to try, so they won't improve their social skills. They'd rather just be inside and not talk to anybody because it's too hard and they don't want to be embarrassed. They have too big of an ego, so they go where they do not have to look dumb in order to excel, which is work. Usually because their jobs aren't like crazy hard, right? They try, but not at the right things. If they do it in an area where they're not socially awkward, it's an area that's not really attractive to men. Women pay the price harder for not having social skills than men because, one, men are okay and can be content being alone. Women, we're really not built that way. We need community. I mean, men don't really like people. Women flock to the cities because we like to be around people. Men say F them. Men can pick it up, but also can make up for it by being really competent and making money. Even if a guy's socially awkward, if he's very good at his job, people do respect him. The biggest problem with socially awkward women is their obsession with the negative side of things. This obsession leads to them not taking risks, not getting involved, and not exposing them to normal trials and tribulations of life, risking rejection to make friends or avoiding situations with men, which is preventing them from having a dating life. The traits of socially awkward women: they overthink everything. They are constant battle with their brain. They don't know what to do with themselves in social situations. They have their own language to themselves. They don't understand social cues. They can't stand silence. They ghost friends, families, and partners when social situations get overwhelming. No middle ground when it comes to behaviors, either extreme or nothing. They don't know how to flirt, physical clumsiness, complain about photos all the time. The biggest problem with socially awkward women is their obsession with the negative side of things. This obsession leads to them not taking risks, not getting involved, and never exposing themselves to the normal trials and tribulations of life, avoiding making friends and situations with men. We're going to look at an interaction between Kevin Samuels and a socially awkward woman.
Okay.
What's the issue you have?
Okay, so I met a guy on Tinder in January, and every week we would meet once a week, and we would just go out to a park, get food, and then fool around a bit. But there was no sex. We didn't.
No sex?
Well, I'm a very conservative person.
Okay, so this woman here on the right, you see the like potential. Like she could be a 6, but you're going to see she's got like zero social skills. Now I know they're roasting me in the chat. They're like, Pearl, you're socially awkward. Yes. Yes, I'm a quirky lady, you know. But I'm talking about a different class. I'm talking about women that can't hold a conversation. They can't. Yeah, we'll keep going.
Okay. I was just being clear.
Yeah, so I
Okay.
told him that I want to take it slow. I want to build a good emotional connection with you first before I go there. And he's not used to that. He's used to, having
Okay. So you met him in January?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So what's the issue?
So he told me that he would wait for me because he really liked me and all that. And then our last date was on Valentine's, and we did the same kind of dates we did in January, which is going.
And you haven't heard from him since?
No, he's just been very distant because.
How old is he?
He's 30.
How old are you?
I'm 27.
How old do you anticipate having him wait?
Sorry?
How long do you anticipate having him wait?
Well, actually, he broke up with me via text message on Friday.
Okay, so
when I reached out to him.
Right, but okay.
Yeah, okay. Like how long? We gotta think about the male point of view. This is where the trad cons, they really miss it. How long is a man gonna wait for a woman? So let's say she's competing, she's like a 5. Let's say she's competing for a 7. Now this guy that's a 7, he has the option of dating like 5s and 6s, let's say. Or maybe it's like he's a 7.5. She's gonna go 2 points higher. Now, a man that's a 5 might wait, but she's not going for him. Like she's going for like a 7-ish guy. Is he going to wait longer than like a couple weeks, a month for this? No, she's got a Gluck 5,000. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Like this isn't going to, even if she's like more innocent and more pure, it's just not going to work. He would wait for a Margot Robbie. You know what I mean? He's going to wait for that. He's like, take your time, sweetheart. How long? Do you need 3 months? We'll Steve Harvey it, baby. But like, I think knowing your position is really important for women. This is where we shoot ourselves in the foot because, a woman that looks like, if we go back to here, oh wait, not that. If we go back to here, a woman that looks like this might give us dating advice on the internet, but that's not your position. What if you want to get dating advice? And I'm not even, we want to look for the women on the right that are dating the Brad Pitts. And we're like, how the fuck did you pull that off? The women that everyone's like, how the hell? And usually the answer is she got him young, but like, let me go back to this Tinder girl.
Okay. So the situation is what? You want him back?
I want to maintain a good friendship with him.
You weren't friends. You weren't friends. You known this guy for a month. You're putting all kind of importance on somebody that you met in January.
But I just feel like we have a good connection.
All right. Someone said she should have got her guy in college. Yes, guys. Should have. Yes. But this isn't should have. This is what is. She's here. It's time to learn. This is where Call Her Daddy gives better dating advice than traditional conservatives. She's aged out of purity. Like she could have played the purity card, like the wait for me. I mean, you guys might have waited for her at 22. You could have bought that. But at 27, I mean, like you guys, when I say like a 27-year-old virgin, you guys are always thinking of hot women. They're not hot. Like they're not hot because they would have had a guy that was a Brad Pitt looking guy that would have, I mean, he might have smashed and like, bounced, but they would have had to take her, right?
Well, that's what you feel. He wanted it. Okay, if you feel like you have a good connection, then why didn't you want to take it to the physical level?
Why I didn't?
Why didn't you? Yes.
Because I want to take things slow.
Well, see, that's the thing. It's all about what you want. See how selfish this is? I want to take it slow. I want you to be on my terms according to my thing. And then when he breaks it off, you still want something that's not there. It's very selfish.
But how about if he leaves me after
Well, then.
See, and that's the thing. So the socially awkward women, the fear of getting pumped and dumped overrides like the benefit of a relationship, like what you could get, but like the fear is too strong. She's like, well, what if he leaves? What if he leaves? He might leave, But he might leave after you've been together for a year. I mean, it's only the dumb guy. Like the guys that are like, oh, if a woman makes me wait, she's more pure, are kind of idiots. Like, I mean, they got bamboozled by whoever they were dating. You know, that girl read like Steve Harvey's 3-month rule and he fell for it. But women, we don't like suckers. So this is why I say some women that are like virgins at old age, they're better just giving it up. And the conservatives, they'll crucify me for it. But I'm sorry. This woman is not going to get married unless she starts putting out. Otherwise, she's going to die alone. Like, that's just going to be it.
Then buy a cat, buy a dog, and die alone. Relationships
Exactly.
are risks. I don't know what you ladies expect. You want guarantees. What if you don't like him and you break his heart? Do you expect him to just be all right with that, right?
I wouldn't.
Doesn't matter. No, of course, because women are always the innocent ones. But at a 52% divorce rate.
This is what I would tell her. Okay. First, you got to switch your whole outfits. If I were her, I would buy boobs. Look, I don't think every woman needs to buy boobs. Her, I think it would help her a lot. And then listen to some Call Her Daddy. Listen to some Call Her Daddy, and you got to start putting out. And if I were you, this is what I would tell her. And this isn't like nice advice. This is what I would say. I would say, look, okay, Pearl, that's bad advice. Okay, go seduce a man. Let me know how that works for you. Now, so I would say, look, we got to figure out what your league is for men. You might get pumped or dumped. You might go out of your league, but you got to start somewhere.
70 to 80% of breakups are initiated by women. Ma'am, the man said he liked you.
I give them about a month, and if things aren't moving forward, I'm out. Look, I'm not saying you got to do it first date, but like over a certain age, what the fuck are we waiting for? Like, okay, you wait 3 months. What if the sex is terrible and you realize you don't even like him? I mean, we're grown. We're not 22. We're adults.
Yes.
And he dated you for a month.
Yes.
How long before you were intending to have sex with him? He's 30 years old. He's not a virgin. Ballpark it for me.
Maybe 2 months in.
Did you tell him that?
No, but I told him I had bad experiences with men in the past.
Well, there you go.
And so her bad experience is again shooting too high because look, the Brad Pitt got like the eights they care about purity, but not in the way like players do care about purity. They don't want a girl that's had sex with any of their friends or whatever, but they don't value it in the same way that I don't know, the relationship guys do, or I don't know how to say it. Like the guys that can't get a lot of women do, because the guys that have like been around know, like they've hooked up with a girl that's like a virgin or damn near, and it wasn't really all that they thought. Like they realized that being likable as a person is way more important. Being a pleasant person to be around is a more important thing. And so if you're kind of like, if you don't have any experience conversating with men, you're going to be really fucking annoying. Like, it's just not, it's a skill, you know, which usually women like learned because they married young. But like now the sexes they're so far apart. Like the men are going one way, the women are going another. They don't even really interact like we used to.
Ding, 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 ding. Making a man in your present pay for stuff in your past equals no future.
Yeah, and you guys are like, Pearl, tell her to wait. Yeah, okay. Let's see how she's waiting. How did that turn out for her?
But it is part of
your problem.
No, it's like a trauma, right? So
okay, due respect, your problem. The world doesn't owe you and me understanding. Come out, put your big girl panties on, and grow up. Please tell me your address.
If she was a virgin, I'd wait. Let me see the roster of women that you've hooked up with. Let me see them. How many women have you hooked up with in the last 6 months? Let me see. Send me pictures. Let me see.
Addressing your trauma with a professional therapist. Exactly. The world doesn't owe you understanding. This is what I mean. Modern women have been painted into. You want to be modern women with all the freedoms and everything else. Then freedom comes with responsibility, accountability, and consequences. You're 27 years old. You want a person who's not married to you to understand your traumas that you're doing nothing about. No, thank you. That's a fully formed man who has a life to live. Listen, that is a fully formed man who has a responsibility to live his life. You may be a perfectly lovely woman. And honestly, the cool thing would have been to say, I think you're nice. And when you get your shit together, I love to date you if I'm single. But until then, I'm keep it moving. But that's not where most people are. It's all about you, ma'am. You're not doing anything about your issues. And I'll be honest, man, most men don't want to deal with women who have issues. You shouldn't be out here dating until you address your traumas. You wouldn't expect a man to be out dating if he had traumas, would you? Would you want to deal with his? Oh.
Rob says women get hit on so much more often, get an experience except her. No, I'm telling you, they don't go out. They don't have social lives. Like, they just go to work, go home. I mean, you have to, like, it takes work to build a social life. And most women, it's like after college, there's a class of women, it just drops off.
I rebuke.
Would you?
No, but
Would you?
how about if he leaves me after I do it? Because I don't know if he
What do you mean? If he lose you, what do you mean? If he lose you after you do what?
after we get intimate.
Okay, are you a virgin?
No.
Okay,
But
well then
I've
there's.
had that done in the past before where
I'm sorry, man. Okay, well then.
That's called taking an L. All these, look, every woman is going to take an L at some point. You know, there's women that date men for like 5 years hoping to get a ring and they get dumped out of the blue. She says, you know what? I want younger and hotter. Thanks for the youth. Sorry, lady. It's called an L. Men take L's all the time. I mean, how many of you guys are on child support or alimony? And some of you guys go the MGTOW way, but a lot of men date again. They say, F it. I want to do it all over again. Men don't give like excuses. I mean, if anything, like in my experience, divorced guys are great to date. Like if I would tell young women to go for you got to go for the divorced guy who's not bitter. Like he can't be on like exorbitant amounts of child support because he's just going to hate his life. But like usually men kind of learn from their mistakes so they can hold frame like better in their next relationship. They become like they go through tribulation. Like they become better men over time. There was a girl that messaged me and she was infertile, right? And she asked me advice because she was like, who's going to date me? Because I can't have any more kids. And I'm like, there's a lot of divorced dads that'll take a 22-year-old that can't have kids. You know, like but if the divorce was too bad, he's just never going to get married or like have kids again. So if that's in the cards for you, you got to like, you got to move on. But, you know, this is why I say like the traditional conservative advice. I have seen like 10 women that look just like her that are either old virgins or they've had sex with like 2 men in like these non-denominational churches. And I'm telling you, they just get old, socially awkward and have no life. And it doesn't end well for them. Like at that point, you might as well just be a whore. You might like, at least the whores are going for it. Like, do you know what I mean? At least the whores are like in my opinion, a porn star would be more likely to get a husband than her. Because a porn star's in the game, right? You know, like Nala just got wifed. Like Nala will get wifed before this woman because Nala said, you know what? I know what men like. Let me get half naked and learn to suck dick. And boom, she's married. Do you know what I mean? Riley Reid. This is the uncomfortable truth. Like, look at, you don't. Yeah, no, I know. They damage themselves. Look at. But my point is, the woman here, she's not going to get into the game. And I've met women like this, and they're like 45 years old. They've had like, I don't know, like 2 bodies or like 2 relationships. The conservatives will lie to you because they want a virtue signal. Like, this doesn't make me look good telling you this, right? This doesn't. But I'm just being honest here. Like, at least the whores are going for it.
And here's the thing. Very reasonable. But if a guy is with you, here's the thing what you ladies need to understand. If a man just wants to hit and quit, he's gonna leave. If you wanna, there's no guarantees, man. I'm sorry. You could leave him after you have sex too. What do you want? You don't want to get hurt. I get it. No one does. This is why you buy a dog or a cat and a battery operated friend and don't deal with men. Or you put on your big girl panties and get out here and play in the game.
if I approach him now and say,
Man, he's done with you. Okay, if you approach him, my personal opinion, you burn that bridge.
okay,
Because why would you approach him now and say, you know what, that sex I didn't want to give you, if you come back, I'll give it to you. No, thank you.
because he said he would wait for me, and
Well, he doesn't owe you, okay, and he said he'd wait for you. So what? You're not married. Why does this man owe you anything, ma'am?
no, he doesn't. But I want to still maintain contact with him. I want to maintain a friendship at least. So
How do you maintain contact with somebody who doesn't want contact with you? Ma'am, I'm gonna be honest, ma'am. You need therapy. And this is not a bad thing.
but do you think
Because
he'll
this,
come back around or no?
Yeah, and see, the thing is, the socially awkward women, it's gonna mean way more to her than it does to him, right? So like every interaction they have, because she just hasn't had a lot of experience. And you may think that's a good thing, but the problem is they're very controlling, right? Because they can't take things not working out. And it puts way too much pressure on the guy. Because, like, this is why sometimes guys don't really want to take a girl's virginity. Some of you are in the chat and you're like, no, we all do. We all do. Look, some men, like, they don't want that pressure because they don't know her yet. And they're like, well, I don't know if this is going to work out or not. And I don't want to be that guy to like let her down because these expectations are way too high. Yeah.
okay.
Like, do you think it's
Listen,
final?
listen, okay? You may be a lovely woman, but this reeks of kind of desperation. It's unattractive. You're 27 years old and you're going through life guarded, trying to protect yourself against hurt because of past traumas. Then you don't need to be out here amongst healthy people dating. You're damaged.
Also, if you guys want your comment read, go to theaudacitynetwork.com. We're also on the App Store if you type in theaudacitynetwork.com. It's my free speech network. At some point, if we get enough members, I want to sign other like talents and have like shows that we cast and stuff. But you get unlimited super chats. You get a yearly membership. It sponsors the show. So if we get one show sponsorship, one yearly membership, a show, then our costs are covered for the year.
That's okay, but deal with your damage. If you had a car, what state do you live in?
In Canada. Canada.
Canada. Do you have a vehicle?
Yeah.
Do you have to have a vehicle that passes any sort of inspection to have it on the road?
Yes.
Right. And if it doesn't pass that inspection, you're not supposed to drive it, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a danger to others.
Yeah.
You're out here and you're not passing inspection. You're a danger to others. But because you got to go where you got to go, damn everybody else. But you need to pass inspection.
But after a month, I don't know this
ma'am,
person.
He could have been okay, ma'am. How about this? He could have been the perfect guy for you, but you're not ready.
So he would meet me where?
No. See, that's that bullshit. No, absolutely not. That's the Disney fantasy that you ladies have been sold. That's this perfect guy who's healthy and ready to go will wait for you, a woman who's not doing anything about her existing traumas to figure her shit out. Absolutely not. Because if we switch that situation and said you are a perfectly healthy woman, marriage-minded, looking to find a husband to go make some babies, and you ran into a guy who has his traumas and everything else, any woman would say you'd be a fool to wait for him to get himself together. Anybody would say that.
You shouldn't have been talking shit.
But women emotionally bond.
I don't give a damn, ma'am. You keep giving yourself excuses.
I just don't think I know a person fully to trust them to give.
Well, then don't deal with them.
In a month.
Okay, then, ma'am, buy a dog, die alone. Because you're not doing anything about your issues. I understand your issue, but you're not doing anything about your trust issues.
I am, by being more cautious. So
no. Okay. And I got a real simple question for you. Ready?
Yes.
How's that working for you?
It's hard to find men that will wait for me.
Because you don't deserve.
Their Pearl is right. And the Tradcon's they'll lead her to destruction and take her money for a lifetime. And lead her to be like a 40-year-old with 2 bodies. They're going to crucify me for this. I swear to God, don't. If you guys clip this, I'm going to be annoyed. Because then this is what they'll do. They'll take it and just virtue signal. Pearl. I thought you said you hate degeneracy. I'm like, look, purity is a young woman's game. At 22, you can marry as a virgin. At 27, unless you're a unicorn and you're an 8 or higher, it's going to be pretty difficult to pull that off. It's a young woman's game. There is no virtue in purity when you're old. And they want to lie to you and say that there is. But when you're old, the men, they're going to assume you've done something. So let's say you're a 28-year-old virgin and you really are a virgin. Men aren't stupid. They're going to assume you've glucked somebody, you've taken it from the back, you've done something. They're not going to buy it. Okay, they're not dumb. We've had too many women lie. So even if you were, pure, it's like void. And I've seen this. I've met virgin women, guys. They got till 25 to pull that shit off. After 25, you're cooked. Done.
To be waited for. Point blank, period. Why does anyone need
They
to
say once the legs have been opened. No, even if they haven't been. Men are going to assume if a certain amount of time has passed, you're fucking somebody or you've done something, even if you haven't. And the men that don't think that, do you know what they're going to do? They're suckers because they just don't have a lot of experience with women and the relationship will fail anyway.
wait for a damaged woman who's not?
Said Pearl, you're hating on virgins. I'm not hating on virgins. I'm not. I think it's a great thing. I really do. If you get married young, I think that's the ideal situation as a woman. That's what you want to do. You want to wait. You want to have sex with one guy for your entire life, but that has an expiration date. If I'm being generous by 25 because women graduate high school with like 5 bodies these days. So
Not working through her traumas.
I don't think that I'm damaged. It's just that.
Okay, ma'am, the woman. Okay, ma'am, you just said I've been hurt by men before and I have traumas. That's damage. You got a car that's been in an accident and it would not pass inspection.
But he said he understood.
All right, you keep talking like you can talk or rationalize your way through it. He left you, period. See, this is what I mean. Ladies do not deal with reality well. This is why men have to deal with rejection often. But when you ladies get rejected or left, it's like the world is supposed, look, ma'am, he dated you. He gave you an opportunity.
yeah, T Carp says, I've seen when these women get married, they cling to their virginity as their identity and will never be sexual at all. Yeah, guys, this is why I hate saying it because it's like you look at the data and you think it's like as simple. 2 virgins, they last the longest. But, you start to look into this stuff and a lot of it's kind of funneled by like religious propaganda. The challenge you get in a lot of churches is they worship women and it's not really patriarchal. If a woman waits and she's in a patriarchal structure, then she's set up for success, right? But how many women are raised to be wives? Most men have to coach their wives into being likable, right? The challenge you get in churches is they're so used to virtue signaling their virginity. Like, how many virgins can keep their virginity for their husband and not tell anyone and not make it this whole show and spectacle? They have their egos too invested into it. And it becomes more of like a way for them to be worshiped rather than like a gift for their husbands. And if they're learning to weaponize sex to get what they want before the marriage, a lot of times they're going to do it after. Hate to say it, because in a patriarchal way, like, it's better if a woman waits and it's the man's idea. Like, if you're going to go that route, it's better. And what man's going to have that idea, right? He's like, we'll just tell everyone at the wedding we waited,
He wanted to have.
I feel bad that I unknowingly had sex with a virgin when I was 19 and she who's 17. I wish it wasn't me. Well, it is what it is. You guys, I'm sure you've taken an L with women. We got to do it too.
Have sex. You didn't want to jump into bed. He dated you for a month and some change and then decided, you know what? I don't want to keep doing this. That's his right. If you decide to leave, you can do it too. He doesn't owe you anything. You're not married. You've known him for a month. And now you're going to make him, well, you said you would do such and so forth. You sound crazy.
But you do think that he's a coward for breaking up with me via text message instead of trying to talk?
No. If this conversation is any indication, I retract that. I think it was smart. Conversation is any indication. I think he should have got away from you as cleanly as possible.
But I've not been rude to him at all. I'm being.
Oh my God. You just went right past that. Just because you're soft-spoken does not change the fact that you will not accept. He doesn't want to be there.
I don't know.
And you're not ready.
Yeah, because I don't know if he's in it for me or in it for my body.
Well, it doesn't matter anymore now, does it?
Your body's not good enough to, getting used once or twice isn't going to kill this woman. If anything, it'll kill her ego a little bit so she can be a little bit more ready. This is the raw, honest truth the trads aren't going to tell you. That's why I prefer, my shows died down a little bit. And I kind of prefer it this way, guys, because I don't need to be clipped every other show, taking my ideas out of context. It's too much. I mean, they could do a whole parade off of this show, just virtue signaling.
I'll make you famous.
Doesn't matter anymore now, does it? Because, ma'am, due respect, Your body is not virgin. So you ladies are playing these fast and loose games with, I don't know why you're here. So what do you need a man to have? A commitment, monogamous? What needs to happen before you decide to have sex? Do you guys need to be boyfriend and girlfriend?
Well, I just need to know him on a better level. Like, I need to feel comfortable
And
myself.
he didn't want that. Can he make the choice? Is he free? Is he free to make the choice just like you are?
Yeah.
Then accept his choice just like he'd have to accept yours.
Okay.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you keep pushing, and that's why I said, man, this is not this. Counseling is a good idea because your self-esteem. This reeks of kind of desperation, like a guy you met in January on Tinder. It ain't like he was referred to you by your pastor or by your mother. It was just you swipe left or swipe right or whatever. And you're putting all this emotional attachment into somebody who you only known for less than a month.
Men want sex. So for all of us Christians, which I am, Paul told us if we can't control ourselves and get married, we can have sex the right way. Yeah, good luck. The state will just ruin your life. But yeah, you can try that.
Two, really unhealthy, man. There are all kind of things that I could really kind of pull out, but I think you need to sit down with the therapist because you're far too invested in a swipe right.